Hi, everyone. Super excited to have Safa with me here today from Iran. Safa's here to share his story, and I've never coached you before, Safa, but I remember distinctly your comments on my YouTube channel. And actually, I'm going to show some of them on the screen here. And I don't see a lot of comments, but I remember when I saw yours, they reminded me so much of myself. Because you were often talking about how you were suffering so much with the mental symptoms, racing thoughts, intrusive thoughts, the looping, all of that stuff that just tortured me for such a long time. And so I'm excited to have you share your story, and how you've got to where you are today. So go ahead and get started. Just share with us what got you onto psychiatric drugs and what led you to where we are today.
Sure, sure. Uh, Thanks for accepting me, first of all, and I'm so glad to be here. I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
And everything started when my OCD got relapsed. I had a background of OCD, but most of the time it was mild and I could handle it. But in pandemic, it got worse. I had very severe obsession about uh, HIV OCD, and I get many tested, despite the fact that it was a very rare probability. And I had severe compulsions, mental compulsion, automatic mental compulsion, and all of them led to have. The seeking reassurance and all these things led to have a severe anxiety and depression.
Mhm.
And I decided to go to psychiatrist, and I was prescribed Prozac. After 2 weeks, I got severe agitation and hedonia, suicidal thoughts, and I got the most severe panic attack of my life.
Mm.
And I was told that it's nothing to do with meds. It's totally your. It was totally a nocebo effect that you, because you were worried about the drugs, that reaction happens because of your thoughts. And I
Mm.
was gaslit by this psychiatrist, and I really believed him. So after that, it led me to have multiple hospitalizations, and polypharmacy began. And
Mm.
after that, I was on, I think, 8 or 7 medications at once. I was misdiagnosed with bipolar, schizoaffective disorder,
Wow.
ADHD, and I endure all the side effects. Emotional blunting, akathisia, and a lot of other symptoms.
Okay. And what happened to you mentally? Like I know you were being treated for these obsessions, compulsions. That was why you went on the Prozac. So you developed all these physical side effects. What happened to you mentally in that process?
First of all, I have to mention that refer that OCD itself is not powerful. We're giving it power by doing the compulsions, automatic mental compulsion, pure OCD like, and seeking for reassurance. And after a while, it gets very worse to the stage that you get psychosomatic pain in whole of your body. And I was get trapped in this cycle because. Uh, Subconsciously I was just following the OCD rules. And while I was on medications, I my OCD I had weird OCD thoughts, dualization, or new set of symptoms like anxiety or emotional blunting. And when I was just complaining about the symptoms, I was given another medication, and this
Mm.
cycle leads to have severe polypharmacy. And in the end, I decided to just wrap up. I decided to just wear off my medications, but I haven't had the right guidelines, so I did it by myself, and just I had the most severe withdrawal symptoms. And it's been 18 months. I'm suffering from protracted withdrawal.
Okay. So you did do a taper when you came out of your last hospitalization, you did your own taper. Is that right? Did you do a hyperbolic type of taper or was it fairly fast? Like, do you know how long your taper was?
My taper lasted for only about 2 weeks, because I was on many medications, and because withdrawal can be covered up by previous meds.
Mhm.
And I was on high level dosages every time, and uh, I had tolerance withdrawal, poop out withdrawal, and I was told that it's your mental health and the OCD is making progress. Or every
Mm,
time I complain about the new symptoms, I was told that it's because of your OCD. Blame on my OCD every time,
right.
and add
Right.
another medication. Add another medication.
Okay.
So yeah, I did a 2 weeks taper because I didn't know about withdrawal and anything. I was
Right.
unaware of withdrawal, so I did it in two weeks because I was so frustrated and tired of exhausted of the system, and I really wanted to get a relief, but I don't know what I didn't expect to have this kind of torture in the beginning.
Right. Do you know which medications you took? Like, so you took Prozac, and did you take other classes like
Yeah,
benzos and antipsychotics? What did you take? Do you remember?
all of them. Yeah, yeah. I was on Prozac, Cymbalta, Zoloft, lithium, carbamazepine, Klonopin, Haldol, Pimozide, many different types of medication. I think about 20 medication in just 1 year and a half.
Wow. And at one point you were on like several at one time. You said
Seven,
you were taking
seven
them at
and
the same
eight
time.
medications with different types of diagnosis. Yeah,
Wow. Okay. So did you during that whole time, were you recognizing that you were having side effects from the drug? Or so for me, I was really confused by why I had such bad symptoms for a long time. Like it took me a fairly long time to realize I was in withdrawal, and then I didn't really know about the dangers necessarily of reinstatement and then going up and down in dose. And then finally, it kind of all clicked like this is the drugs. How did
yeah.
you realize that that's what was happening to you?
I think it was a long story with lots of ups and downs, and I tortured a lot. But because when you are on the medications, you can't recognize the side effects because of some, I don't know what happened in the brain. Dr. Peter Brigham call it. I forgot the terms,
Oh,
but
spell binding.
yeah, spellbinding. Yeah, exactly.
Mm, right.
And when you have a lot of symptoms while on your medication, you want to just relief from the symptoms, and you don't you it hasn't ever occurred to my mind it can be from medications. So it was really really hard, and if it wasn't for some YouTube videos, I wouldn't mm, recognize that it's because of meds. And
Right.
I will be in this cycle for many many years like many people. So I was
Hmm.
fortunate to just find these resources, and after that I got I was met your just videos, and it was very very helpful. And
Mm.
other sources like antidepressantsurvival.org and other resources, papers, and I got familiar with all of them, and I know what was going on, and then I decided to taper.
I see. Okay. So then what happened after you tapered? So obviously you didn't really do much of a taper because you weren't very aware of how to do like hyperbolic maybe, but what happened after you came off the last drug? So because a lot of your comments were like severe racing intrusive thoughts, like mental, like what happened? Like do you remember kind of the process
Yeah,
of coming off the drug and then what happened?
yeah, sure, sure. I mean, it's like you're under anesthesia for a long, long time. You cannot breathe. You cannot come up with the exact word to describe this phenomenon. It's so subjective, and for me, my mental symptoms were so severe, and I
Hmm.
couldn't handle just 1 minute of it. And I mean, all those storm-like symptoms, it was asteroid compared to my organic OCD. And
Right.
I had this racing severe thoughts. My subconscious mind was racing some memories of past 24/7 with derealization, akathisia, and hedonia. So it was
Wow.
like hell, and I
Hmm.
couldn't just. It was something belonged to another planet.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And so what was your process of recovery like? So what happened? So you about 18 months ago you came off the drug. So how was the process of getting to where you are today? Like what how did you get through it and where are you at right now?
Yeah, at first in the beginning, I had this feeling that I'm going to die every day, and
Mm-hmm.
because of the severity of my symptoms, and I was like I'm choking, and I was begging to just get some relief. I was thinking very deeply about everything. I was so philosophical. I got very philosophical questions. I was questioning everything, my existence, everything, and I couldn't just. I was so unfunctional, and I was in survival mode 24/7. And
Mm-hmm.
after I think 10 months of wave, I had a brief windows. It lasted only 5 minutes, and it was like
Wow.
I was reborn, and it was something I can't describe it. It was so beautiful. It was so
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, and so a spiritual moment that I had. I was like waking up from a deep sleep, and uh, it was enough for me to get back to my life. Even though
Mm-hmm.
after that time, I had more severe waves, and I only had these 5 minute symptoms, but I was rewired kind of, and my mindset changed. My point of view about this phenomenon has changed totally, and I got to the point that I had this feeling that I have to continue. I don't need to interpret my symptoms or give meaning to them, give power to them.
Wow.
As yeah, I know what was going on. I was aware of everything, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you started essentially, you had 10 months where you didn't have window. You had this very brief window, which gave you some insight into this process. And then what happened after that? Did you start integrating back into your regular life, even though you were symptomatic, or how did you go from that 10 months until now? So the last 8 months, what have they been like?
Yeah, there are a lot of range of emotion comes to me. For example, I was really like a real how can I say you couldn't just forgive yourself because of what you have done in the past. You trusted this medical community, and
Mm,
after all this torture, you were like grieving, and you just regret about what action you could have done in the past. I mean, I wish I could travel in the time and dealing with my old symptoms, my organic OCD. It was so hard to not think about the past and forgiving
right.
yourself, forgiving the doctors, and reach the point that finally you have to accept what happened to you. Acceptance and
Hmm.
validation was very important. I got validated by your videos, by the sources, our community. It was very
Hmm.
good, and sometimes most of the time at the beginning I couldn't function. All the techniques,
Right.
all the strategies was not working because I was in
Right.
survival mode. It was really hard to just focus and have a positive thoughts. So at first it was unbelievable pain and suffering, but I
Hmm.
gradually get used to it. Although I have some severe waves, but I can just I have no options but to tolerate them and get back to life. After this 5 minutes windows, I try to get back to life. I failed a lot, but
Hmm.
I'm just keep going. You know, I have this
Hmm.
spirit and mindset that it's a temporary brain injury, and I
Hmm.
have to just reach my goals, get back to my life. I know I lost many years, but I'm now I get my strongest version of my life. I know I have a different point of view about the life, and I think it was a very bad experience. It was unbelievable. But on the other hand, on the other side, you will get the bright side. I mean, it was very beautiful because you get the new appreciation about the life and all those symptoms that you have. And before meds, I was so functional, but I haven't had this appreciation about the all the capability that I have. You know,
I
our
agree.
emotions, happiness, and
Peace.
me. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Peace. I was just going to say peace.
Yeah,
You
peace.
take your peace for
Exactly.
granted before. Yeah, yeah. Wow. So right now, where are you at? Like you're working, you're back to like you're feeling like you have a strong handle on your life again. So are you back to being fully functional, or where are you at with that? You're working.
Yeah. To be honest, frankly speaking, Uh, I'm not very good, but I really try hard to maintain my mindset at the same level. Sometimes I'm disconnected from the world 24/7, but I
Hmm.
got back to normal life. I went to military service because it's obligatory here, and I'm
Oh.
still grieving. I'm still grieving, but I think the life itself, it's the most precious thing that we have. It's
Hmm.
very meaningful. It's very powerful. I think, although I wasn't under a lot of pressure and I was uh, just conveying, I can't convey this meaning, but I was on different types of, many kinds of surrounded with all the psychiatrists, all the things that happened to me. But I feel like that but we only have this life, and we have great people. We have many things that we haven't reached in life. So we have to push forward. Although it was at first it was so hard to believe this, but
Yes.
gradually you will find your way and you will get back to your life and you will meet your own new of yourself, new version of yourself that it's so powerful, so mature, and
Hmm.
you know, yeah, I think it was. On the other hand, it was great experience for me to just
Hmm.
notice and be aware that my perception has gone, my many of abilities gone. But right now, I'm so grateful.
Wow. Okay, so you have had a new lease on life essentially, and you still have waves, but you are back to functioning. Okay, so and you have obviously a lot of hope that things are continuing to progress for you. Yeah, wow. Okay, so did you have other things that you wanted to add? I think you said you had made some notes. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your
I
experience?
just wanted to review some gaslighting about what happened. One thing I just really wanted to say to OCD community and people who are suffering from OCD. The thing that I had, and I'm regret about that, I was looking for many resources about OCD, and I found
Hmm.
many specialists, many software talking about and bringing awareness to other people. But I think most of it's uh, be a disadvantage and totally can be unhelpful because uh, you are reviewing every day that they say that we have OCD, this symptoms occur, OCD is so debilitating. At first, it's okay to know a mechanism of OCD. That's fine. But I mean, to just stick around this kind of content, I think long term it can be devastating because they say that, okay, this week I'm going to do this, that way OCD can uncontrollable. They just magnifying. They just catastrophizing about this phenomenon. I know
Mm,
OCD is very hard to
yes.
manage, but just sticking to information about just OCD, it's so frustrating.
Right. Yeah, because it can make you, it just can keep you in that sort of awareness loop. And so your message is essentially that even if you had pre-existing OCD, as did I, you can still live a great life. So you had
Exactly.
OCD and then you had astronomical OCD in the withdrawal, and now you're getting back to like you can still live a good life despite, and I can attest to that for sure because I've had it my whole life. It was 1,000 times worse in withdrawal, but I live a good life now. And so do you, it sounds like. So
Yeah,
that's a great
exactly.
message. I love that. Is there any other advice you'd like to give people going through this process or, small steps that they can start doing today to start, especially maybe if they don't have any windows or they have very small windows? Is there any advice you want to give people watching?
I really wanted to hug all of the people that are
Mhm.
suffering from all those symptoms and have been gaslit for many, many years. it's the most hard, it's the hardest thing that you can ever done in your life. And I know that you get disappointed many, many times. I know
Hmm.
that you think about your existence, you're so philosophical, you ask many questions or anything. I know how it feels. It's really hard, and uh, but you're one of the strongest people, and sometimes it's really you can't be hopeful. Sometimes you're so unfunctional. For many, many months you should tolerate many symptoms, but it's totally fine. Maybe you can't come up with the exact words to explain this to your family, to your friends, and they will just fail you, they will judge you, or it's totally okay. You have to
Mm.
give it the time. Time is very important. And just please, please keep going and continue. You will get the you will see the light in the end of the tunnel. And I'm so
Hmm.
proud of all of you. And I was one of the severe case. I know many people say I'm the most severe case, but uh, for me, it was I was above the average. At least I can say this. It was so hard, it. And I'm so grateful to watch your videos. It was so inspirational,
Mm,
and
thank you.
I mean, while I was at my worst uh, period,
Mm.
I was in I had akathisia, mental compulsion, and this placebo effect you were talking about, and how sensitive people are more vulnerable. It was so helpful. I stood
Mm.
up and say, "Okay, I have a akathisia, racing point, and hedonia." But after watching your videos, I got very motivated, and I was back to my life. I was go running. I was get back to my educational process, and it's very important that most of the disease can relate to our perception and how
Hmm.
we are going to interpret. I think it's very key. At first, I couldn't do that, but after many months, I realized that I have the power. Okay, symptoms are very severe, but you can't do some small things. Come on, you have to
Mm.
push forward. Okay, it was not fair. It was so debilitating, but it's okay. You have to fight it. I fought for every single minute to be alive, and it's such a blessing to be alive and to have a family, to have a life, to have all the sensations. I mean, I'm so grateful. At first, I was thinking about it's not fair. It was my fault and all of these things. But now I'm feeling very, very hopeful. And although I have many symptoms left, but I'm so, so alive.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it so much. Again, when you reached out to me to ask if you could share your story, my channel was excited because when I saw your name, I was like, I've seen you on my channel and I know how much you were struggling. So thank you for coming on here and sharing your story. I know it'll be inspiring to others.
Thank you very much for accepting me. It was such a pleasure and honor. You're a lifesaver for many, many people out there. Thank you for what you're doing. It's so, so important for many people that have severe mental symptoms. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you so much,
And
Safa.
please
Take care.
keep
I will.
doing this
Thank you so much.
brilliant job that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.